Hey guys, I hope you had a great 4th of July yesterday. Hope you got to hang out with your family and your friends, social distancing style, and it was still a really great time to all be together and celebrate America. We just wanted to hop on here today. We're going to do a Sunday school lesson, but it is the last time that I will be teaching with you guys. I actually accepted a job in Oxford, Mississippi. So tomorrow I am moving. So this will be my last time doing any teaching with y'all, and I hate that I'm doing it over FaceTime. I would love to get to be with you guys and give you a hug and have a formal way of saying goodbye, but instead this is what we have. And the Lord has been so kind to me since I have been a part of Sequoia Hills, and I have been so grateful and thankful that He let me for the past 2 years just be a part of each of your lives. So I just want you to know that I am so proud of you. Just keep pursuing the Lord in everything that you do. You have incredible leaders and support, so whenever you need something, really reach out and ask, because these guys care for you. I've seen all the behind the scenes of everything, and they really do love you and support you, and they have loved me and supported me in incredible ways. So don't hesitate to lean into these leaders, lean into what God has for you over this little bit of time, and feel free to reach out to me if you need anything in the future. You can message me on Instagram, send me a text, anything. Laura knows how to get in contact with me. So I just want to say thank you to you guys, and that I love you, and I will always be praying for you and give thanks to God when I remember you guys, because you're really important to me. So let's jump into the teaching for today. If you've been following along with us past few weeks, we've been learning about Joseph and looking at his life and kind of modeling what we should do when we're in positions that he was in. And so if you've been following along, we've been talking about how Joseph was the favorite of his brothers because of his dreams, and that he was a little bit annoying about that. He rubbed it into his brothers. They plotted to kill him. They sell him into slavery. He ends up in Egypt. He's a slave in Egypt. He gets imprisoned in Egypt, but then he ends up at the right hand of Pharaoh and eventually becomes second in command and kind of is this leader over all of Egypt. And so we're going to pick up this story here, and we're going to talk about how we can choose peace in times that's really hard, when we want to seek revenge, when we want to get back at people, and how choosing peace is going to be what God has for us, and how even though it might not be easy, it is what's best. So let's go ahead and look at the story. We're diving in at Genesis 45. I'm going to start in verse 1, and it says, "Then Joseph could not restrain himself anymore." So right now his brothers are coming to Joseph. There's this famine going on in their land. Their dad sent them. They asked for food, for help to deal with this famine, and they don't know that they're talking to Joseph. They assume that he's died at this point. So they're standing in this room, and they've been negotiating this deal, and it's with Joseph, and he's ready to tell them. He can't wait any longer to tell them who he is. So he says, he couldn't constrain himself anymore. He cried out, "Make everyone go away from me." So no one stood with him while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And then he wept out loud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard it. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Does my father still live?" But his brothers could not answer him, for they were dismayed in his presence. So Joseph can't keep this secret any longer, and to me it seems like he's a little bit excited to tell them that he's still alive, to see his brothers again. And so I don't know if you can think of a time when someone has really hurt you, really wronged you, and how you're probably not excited to see them again. Like maybe your ex-boyfriend, girlfriend cheated on you and you were really hurt by that, or maybe a friend stabbed you in the back or gossiped about you and you don't want to see them anymore. You don't want to be involved with them. You're not excited. or you were bullied in elementary school and you see the bully again. So things my first thought is not to excitement when I see people who have hurt me, but he is excited to see his brothers and he wants to know about his father. And, thinking of all the things that they had done for him or done to him, this seems like it was going to be a really hard moment in the next couple verses for what Joseph is going to say. But instead he says, "Please come near to me." So they came near, and he said, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery in Egypt. But now, do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here. For God sent me here before you to preserve your life. For these 2 years the famine has been in the land, and there are still 5 years which there will be neither plowing nor harvesting." So Joseph is letting them know that God sent him to this place, that it wasn't, maybe they made this choice, but that God can redeem every situation and make something really good out of something really bad. And that, God has this plan, and he has this plan for these people's lives, not just Joseph's life, but also his family's life. And Joseph, by this point, has had this dream that there's going to be this famine for 5 years. It's not going to end right now, and his brothers don't know that, so he needs to tell them. Then he says, "And God sent me here before you to preserve a posterity for you on earth and to save your lives by great deliverance. So it was not you that sent me here, but God. And he has made me the father to Pharaoh and a lord of all his house and a ruler throughout the land of Egypt." So in this moment, I want you to think back to those people that have hurt you. So the ex-boyfriend, the bully, the friend that stabbed you in the back, the mean girl at school, whatever it may be, your parents, your siblings, something that has really hurt you. And think about how you would respond in this moment when they are the people asking you for help. And I know there's been times in my life where people have hurt me and they've needed my help, and it feels so good, and you want to assert your dominance over them or be like, "Oh, so now you need my help," and you want to act in a way that is not godly, and you want to kind of be a little bit mean, a little bit just better, act like you're better than them because they're asking for help. Or maybe you don't want to help them at all, and maybe you just want to laugh in their face and tell them to go away. And in those moments when we act like that, when we want some kind of revenge, when we want some kind of payback, that is showing how we are not healed by, from what they've done us, how we haven't extended forgiveness to them, to the situation, to God for allowing it to happen for us, and we don't have healing, we don't have peace in our hearts. And instead, in this moment, it's clear that Joseph has found peace, and he has found this healing within God. He's given God his hurt, and he has turned this hurt into something good. He has watched how God has changed it. And I think a lot of times we don't give our hurt to God so that we can see it be transformed and see it be renewed and turned into something beautiful. And so that is how Joseph is able to take something that was really bad and harmful to him and hurtful to him, that really changed his life, and instead turn it into something where God is using him. And that's how he's able to stand in front of his brothers and say, "You know what? I forgive you for what you've done, and I want to help you. I want to be there for you, and I want to see you guys prosper in this land." And instead of saying, "Yeah, well, you guys did this to me and I'm not going to help you, so I'm really sorry." Because I'm sure that when he said that he was their brother, they're sitting there thinking "Oh man, we're not going to find help here. There's no way." And he's telling them, "Hey, don't feel any guilt for what you've done. Don't feel bad for what you've done, because the Lord used it." And I think for some of us, it would be really hard for us to say that to someone else. "Hey, don't feel bad for this. God, I needed this in my life for God to show me this, this, and this." And that takes real healing in our lives to get to that point. So we want you to think about in these next week or so, what are things that you feel like you've been hurt by? What are things you feel like you haven't extended forgiveness to people for? And how are you still carrying the weight of those things? And find someone to talk to about it. Find your small group, your leaders, because here's the deal. There's no like a rule book manual for how to extend forgiveness and heal from these things that hurt us, like from people who hurt us. Broken people hurt people. That's the way that the world works. And so we can't tell you exactly how to do it, but what we want to be able to do is walk through life with you. So that's why going to small group is important, getting plugged into the church, so that there are people in your life who've been there before who can guide you and talk you through things, because it doesn't look the same for everyone. It's a process, and we have to journey in it together, and it's not something where you can just forgive someone overnight. We know that it takes time, it takes a process to heal, and we want to be able to journey alongside you in that healing from things that have hurt you, to extend forgiveness to people, to get you to a place where you can see how God can use things that have hurt us and make them peaceful, and make them a place where we're bringing glory to God and bringing glory to the situation, and giving like maybe in the future we're able to help others. So this title of this particular talk is like choosing peace instead of payback. And so we want to get you to a place where when people hurt you, we're always choosing peace. We're not choosing payback. We're not choosing revenge. We're letting those things go to the wayside to choose peace and be a person who always incites restoration in people, and who always is going to extend forgiveness. And because unforgiveness only hurts the unforgiver is a quote that I've heard a lot, and about how bitterness can take over our lives if we're unforgiving. So we don't want to live like that. We want to live freely. We want to live in Christ. And one of the ways is going to be to seek forgiveness and to always extend forgiveness when we've done wrong and when another person has done us wrong. And we want to always be choosing peace. So take some time this week, think about it, talk with the people in your small group, reach out to your leaders, to Laura. We want to help you through this journey, and we can't wait to see you soon. We should be back next week with another Wednesday night shindig. I hope you guys have so much fun, and I will miss you so much. So just thank you for letting me be part of your life for the last 2 years, and I wish you all the very best.